Think about the hardest you've ever been hit. The hardest I've ever been hit, one time in the 6th grade, I got hit by an 8th grader. One time in Ralph's, I got hit by a bag of bagels. And one time when I was hanging out with my dad, probably in the 5th grade, we had a very nice father-son night out, and he hit me in the face with a horseshoe. Just whack! And I flew back like an Avenger getting blasted by a grenade. It was unreal. I got up from the ground thinking I had superpowers, like I had become Horseshoe Man or some shit, and I was about to be a dead ringer. Like, it was insane. But the hardest I've ever been hit was not that day. It was by this comic book right here, GodSlap. So I really enjoyed this, and I know it's been kind of a hot thing on the internet lately. So I wanted to tell you about it because maybe you don't know about it and I get to bring you in on this exciting comic, or maybe you did know about this and you didn't get a chance to get one. So this is your chance to kind of see what it's all about. So let's do it, babe. Why did I just call you babe? There's no way. There's no world where I call you babe. Imagine being in a comic book store. You walk in and I'm like, hey babe, you're here for a nice read? You want to get your nails done too, babe? You'd be like, no! You'd run. It's the one time in your life you'd prefer to be at Barnes & Noble. Like, Jesus Christ, why did I do that? All right, so GodSlap is a comic book created by YouTuber Charlie White, who I've been a big fan of. He makes hilarious videos over on his channel, and he promised that this comic book would change the world. Did it? It's a comic book. Yes, sure, it did. I enjoyed it enough, so it changed my world. It's about GodSlap, the titular character. It's a character that slaps, put in this dark underbelly world. Think like Dark Knight. Think Daredevil, that kind of gritty underbelly inner city world meets GodSlap. Now this comic is just a preview. It's a couple of short pages to set up the world and kind of give us an idea of what it's like and give them a chance to see what it's like to make a comic book. And I think it was a great first step forward. They're going to be making a full book in the next couple of months, so if you kind of like what I say here, I think you can pre-order that now or check it out if you want. This isn't sponsored. I'm just letting you know in case you're interested. And they're also working on making it a streaming show. So that would be sick. I'd love to see it. And let me tell you why. First thing I want to talk about with the comic is the artwork. I thought it was beautiful. It's by this dude right here, Ricardo Jamie. And let me just show you how great this is. Now, they actually went with a really fun premise for the style. All black and white. And I think it really played out. I don't know if this is something Ricardo Jamie is known for, but what he did here is phenomenal. Now, the only time you see pops of color in this book, I hope you guys can see that okay, because I really feel like in person, you get a better glimpse of what's going on. But the only time you see pops of color in this book are when there's blood. Look at how sick that looks, how much that pops. Remember that video game on Dreamcast called Mad World? Like, I'm on such a nostalgia trip right now because this reminds me of that so hard. Like, I'm back in the 6th grade eating my little Pringles chips and my Juicy Juice box, and I just love what Ricardo did here. Look at that. This guy is a pro. He's got such a great understanding of composition and contrast. And I just love like the overlaying elements between frames that like guide the eye and take you on the story. It just is so sick. I love it. This next page is a good one too. Look at that. Look at how it just pops. Was the video game Mad World? I'm pretty sure it was. And this is my favorite page right here. Little secret. I was actually involved in the making of this comic. When Ricardo drew this page, he sat me down and he said, take me through the trauma of getting hit with that horseshoe. And that inspired this page. Dude, that is a hard hit. He really captured the essence of my father in the moment of sports. You can tell the artwork is fantastic. It's really well done. One thing you should know about the artwork, since this is a review, is it did make it a little hard to follow the story elements sometimes. I don't know if that's just because I don't read comics that often or I'm just old as shit, but because everything's black and white and everything is so tight together, a lot of times it was hard to tell which character was talking. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's switching, and other times you were like, is that still the same guy? I had to go back and check. So I hope, since this is just a preview, that they're able to keep that in mind when they're working on the full book, because there's a lot of great stuff here with the art, but there was a couple of times, especially towards the beginning, where I was like, who's saying what? So that's something to keep in mind for the future one. The story is, like I said, underbelly world, a dude that slaps, and the main characters are Darius, that's GodSlap, and the main character, the titular character, is this dude right here. Titular, which one is it? You tell me, am I a dumbass? Aius. How do you say that? Because I have no clue, so I'm going with Aju. And that is an insult, I'm sure, but my boy Aju here is only in the last page of the comic. What? What are you doing to me, man? I want the full story. Let me meet this guy. That would be like, let me show you Clueless without Alicia Silverstone. What are you talking about? No! So that was another thing, another change I'd like to see in this is the main character we didn't meet till the last page and we knew nothing about him. Like, get me excited! Get me pumped! Like, my veins are flowing here for GodSlap himself, but I kind of am curious how they all tie together. I want to know. So, I don't know if they did that intentionally or what, but it would be something I'd like to see more of. The last thing I'd say about the comic is I'm looking forward to the bigger piece. I'd love to read it. I originally only got this because I'm a fan of Charlie and I like to support his work because I haven't thus far, and this was a good opportunity. But in the bigger comic, I would love it to be funny because it's such a great opportunity for it with this dark world and a hero that slaps. So I really hope there's some really hard-hitting jokes, especially knowing Charlie and how just naturally funny he is on camera. I think there's going to be plenty of chances for that to happen. And while there wasn't any comedy in this book, I get the feeling that there could be more in the longer journey. So I'm excited to see that. I wish them luck. Yeah, it was really great. If you'd like to support the project, just look up GodSlap. Tell Charlie I said what's up, and if any of you guys got the book, I'd love to know your thoughts, because I'm sitting alone in a room talking to no one except for you. So, I'm waiting.